Welcome to Masterminding Show, where today we're going to dig into the mind of Mr. Inderjit Singh Bhogal. All right, welcome everybody to this episode of the Grind Life podcast and broadcast. My name is Don Martin, your host, and I'm extremely excited about today's episode because this gentleman to my left has had so much influence and inspiration on me over the last few years since we met. So I really appreciate you being our guest today. His name is Inderjit Singh Bhogal. He is the director of Sikh Coaching in Birmingham, United Kingdom. He is also the chair of Sikh Aid International, which is a registered British-based charity or nonprofit organization that focuses on improving the quality of life of individuals in both developing countries and also across the UK. And he's just inspiring, but he's just a wealth of knowledge for not only people that need help from coaches in regards to life coaching, but also from an entrepreneurial standpoint. So my brother, and this is my brother, by the way. Don't we look alike? Don't we look like we're related? But this is my good friend, and I want you guys to meet him. So thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for having me coming to visit our Sikh Coaching offices here today. We're honored, absolutely humbled and honored.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm honored for you to do this interview with us and really just kind of I want people to know who you are. I mean, you have so many gifts to offer the world, and this is the first step for you from an entrepreneurial standpoint, for people to know what you do and how you do it, and you just have so much. I think you have greater impact than you even know so far because of just through me and my organization, what I do, and a lot of people know you, and they always ask, how's Inder and how's he doing? So it's been pretty cool for us to be divinely introduced because of a Lisa Martin connection.
Yeah, thanks to Lisa.
Yes, yeah.
I think this is all possible. She has united us all.
Yeah, one of the funniest things is Lisa said, I met a guy that could be your brother. He is a Sikh gentleman from Birmingham, and he could be your brother. You guys talk similar, sound similar. He has similar energy to you. And I didn't know, and it was in England, so I was expecting a British guy. And then I saw the picture with the turban, and I was like, wow, this is going to be fun, And it was I would say the first time we met, it was definitely a connection.
Yes.
So without a doubt. So it's fun. So now it's amazing how the world works and how it brings people together, and I'm super excited. So anyway, let's start rolling. If you can tell everybody kind of just your background, where you were born, and
Sure.
born and raised, and just to give people some context.
Sure. So I was born in Nairobi, Kenya, and when I was 4 years old, I came over to England with my mom and dad, and three sisters, three brothers. So my mom and dad have 6 children, and over here in Windmill Lane in Birmingham is where we were raised, and it's been an incredible experience growing up in England. Mm-hmm. Going to university in England, and then later on in life, moving off to other countries and traveling and living in America, traveling on 3 continents really, living in 3 continents, and then when my father passed away, I came back here to England.
From
America.
Okay.
I was in California,
okay,
which is where I was working as an IT consultant.
And did you go to school there as well?
I went to John F. Kennedy University.
Okay, yeah, later. I thought so. Okay.
And then I got my psychology and coach mentoring training there.
Okay.
Started my business there. After my IT consultant, I started a business called a Vision Works Group, where some of the professors in my university, they came to work with me. We had this incredible experience of running and leading workshops, showing people how executives can perform better in their work, how they can do business better in executive coaching, and then also well-being coaching as well.
Got it. So for you, that's what kind of evolved you into the entrepreneurial world. Let's go back a minute,
Yes.
like a little bit prior to that, just to kind of talk about how you got to that point.
Sure.
It's really inspiring for people. So you moved to the UK, right? From Africa,
Yes.
right? You went through schooling here and you went into IT. So
Yes.
you actually didn't start as an entrepreneur. Let me ask you this. Were your parents entrepreneurial because now you're an entrepreneur, you own your own coaching business and it's successful, and you help other entrepreneurs, kind of become successful too with your coaching. But were you an entrepreneur? Were your influence to be an entrepreneur, I should say, from your parents?
Yes, a great question, because my parents are from a carpentry background.
Okay.
My grandfather was a carpenter, my father was a carpenter, but then my father went and opened a post office, my grandfather had his own workshop. There was some element of what if you could have your own business, but nobody in our family really ran their own business.
Got it.
My older brother, he opened a clinic, and he was a doctor, a homeopath.
Okay.
But really, when I was working 9 to 5 or sometimes 10, 12-hour shifts as an IT consultant,
Right.
I had a regular job. So I got employed, I got a company car, I got all the perks given to me. They were flying me around all over the world. I was staying in nice hotels and all that stuff.
Right.
Living the life of the Rileys and having great life. But they
As an employee.
As an employee.
Yeah.
And then as a contractor.
Right.
Is also. So then there came a point where I felt like, as an IT consultant, as a team leader, somebody that runs big projects, has people working for them, has complaints and issues, and people coming to them and saying, Inderjit, this is not working, that's not working, what can I do? I found that I was being called, in a way, instead of working with software,
Right.
I was going to be working with people.
Love it.
There came a point where I started working for a company called Landmark Education in California.
Yes.
And then from Landmark Education, I went back to university.
A lot of people watching may have attended.
Yeah.
You know.
The Landmark Forum.
Yep.
And then I went to John F. Kennedy University, and I started looking at becoming an executive coach. Finished my coaching certification with the International Coach Federation.
Okay.
And then once I got that, I started my own business as a coach. Now, you might think it would be very difficult to earn a great deal of money or become very successful as a coach, because in a way you see coaches all over the place.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
But do you find great coaches is the question.
Right.
And one of the things I found was that there was a calling that I had to be a great coach. I had the teachings in Sikhism from the gurus of Sikhism.
Sure.
And the teachings of the Guru Granth Sahib became the foundation of the company that I would create when I came back to England after my training in California.
Sure.
And I would create an organization called Sikh Coaching. And this is the clinic that we're now sitting in.
Yeah.
Families and individuals and couples, they all come. They need problems because they're stuck in their business.
Sure.
Or they're stuck in their marriage, or they've got problems and conflict, and they're depressed or anxious, or there are blocks that just, they can't have their dreams. And what happens is that when they come to our coaching sessions, we're able to let them see where the blocks are and how they can remove the blocks so they can have their life.
And you have a gift in that. What's amazing to me, just from us talking, like, we always intend for our meetings to be a certain amount of time, but I've learned to not have anything after.
Yes.
Or not have anything planned after, because our meetings never are what we plan. Oh, we got about an hour, 2.5 hours later, we're still talking. I'm just enthralled in sincerely your brilliance. I want you to realize that you already know this. I mean, because you have such a successful practice here, but you have a gift that just to be able to help people understand what you just talked about, their blocks. What they are, and a lot of times, more importantly, once they find them, they can even deal with them.
Yes.
They just didn't even know they existed. So that's some of the things we do, which is cool. From your entrepreneurial thing, I do want to ask you some questions. So you decided to start a business. Was this the first thing you ever did in your life to run your own business, or was there some other things that you tried before that? Was there anything else, or was this the first time you really did your own thing, even going back to when you were maybe a child?
I think growing up, I had this dream that I wanted to be able to make a difference.
Yeah.
So in America, I started the Vision Works group, a group of coaches, consultants come together.
So that was your first real entrepreneurial
first, I think. And then there was.
How did that go?
It was very well. It was very powerful, very successful.
Yeah.
It felt to me like I didn't have to be incredibly clever.
Yeah.
I didn't have to be incredibly wealthy.
Right.
But if I had a team of people that I trusted, we could make a massive difference.
Yeah.
Rather like you've shown me so many things that are possible in business.
Sure.
As an entrepreneur. What is possible?
Right.
When you've got a powerful team and you've got a vision, and you've got a dream, and you know that you can do it.
Right.
So that positive energy was in there, and it was given to me, I think, by my mother and father.
Right.
My mother and father were unstoppable.
Yeah.
You know, my mom's still alive, and she is the power that every day when I see her, I feel like everything can happen. Anything is possible.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing. The whole idea...
Just from people's existence and energy.
The whole idea that you can serve your parents, you can look after them, you can care for them, you can run a charity, you can make a difference in your business, and you can have time to play and have a great life. Yeah. You can have time to have a spiritual life. Yeah. You can, all of that's possible. Yeah. The whole idea is that you don't have to come from a place of scarcity. You can come from a place of abundance.
Beautiful.
You know, and if you can find the right people in your life that you trust, then that is what's possible. I
love it. And so that comes down to a term, I think that's really important, what you were just talking about. What I was thinking when you were saying, find a bunch of people, you didn't have to be clever. And what I was thinking is authenticity. Yeah. As long as it's authentic, it comes from a great place.
As long as you're telling the truth, you're standing in the truth, you're being honest, and you have integrity in your business, right? In the work that you do, you genuinely want to make a difference. Right. It's not coming from a place of greed. Right. It's coming from a place of serving, being of service, doing seva. Then great things are possible. Yeah. And in this coaching business, one thing we find is that it opens up so many doors. When you come from a place of service, you stand in serving the other people instead of just ripping them off. Right. Then you give them ownership of making the choices in their life to do what it is that they're called to, instead of just being told what to do. It's
kind of like why you started your business, because you felt a calling outside of the computers to people.
Yes.
And you're talented and gifted at that. Any regrets that you have? Obviously, your first entrepreneurial endeavor was successful, and you made a lot of reasons. I mean, authenticity, good people, surrounding yourself with the right people. A lot of great tips and advice there. Do you have any regrets in that first thing that you did, or maybe what would you do different, knowing what you know now, looking back? What were some of those maybe tips that you can give people, or something that you would have done yourself?
Yes. I think that the challenges in running any business is always, sometimes we try to move too fast into doing what it is that we want to do.
Right.
So having a foundation which is very powerful, which is clean and tidy and has the right people supporting and giving you feedback, so that you can ask people like a Don Martin, hey Don, I have this idea, what are your thoughts?
Sure.
And when you get powerful feedback from people, it's possible that some of the mistakes that we make in rushing too fast into making the business a success is not the way to go.
Sure.
So what I found.
Well, it's funny because I'm a huge believer of, it's later than you think, so you have to have a sense of urgency, but yet you also have to make sure you educate and structure yourself in such a way that you don't get ahead of yourself. So it's such a contrast, but they're so very important. You have to act. It's later than you think. You have to work and hustle and get going. But again, you have to make sure that process is supported by a foundation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so the saying is slow down to go fast. You know, if we can actually, like a flywheel, if we push the flywheel too fast and we're too greedy and there's so much urgency in that, it will never work. Right? So this positive faith that you can have, your faith will empower you. If you continue to feel like you're out to be a failure, then it's entirely possible you will fail.
Of course.
You know? So keeping your hope and trust with your team is very powerful, very important.
I love that. So again, you said I would say your entrepreneurial hustle and grind personally really began when you came back to the UK. Truly, when you really started, you brought together your faith with Sikhism and the coaching under one umbrella to offer something that's really unique in the world. What was the drive for that? Like, as you know, our slogan for this broadcast is it's called Grind Life, but it's spelled with Y, GRYNDLYFE, and the reason is because people have to have a why in their life or a purpose, a mission in their life to fuel their hustle, their grind. So what was your why? What was the driving thing that really just like kind of forced you or directed you into the Sikh coaching world?
Great. So I think that Don, the main thing was that if I can do this, and I'm just an ordinary mediocre that was born, locally here in the streets of Birmingham, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Right.
And then the whole point is that if you give people access to their greatness, if you can believe that they can do it, and you are a stand for them to do it, they will do it.
Yeah.
The world we live in is nobody will stand for you.
Sure.
They just want you to stand for yourself. They don't want to have to, expend energy into lifting you up because they think that you should just do it by yourself.
Sure.
What we found is
it's expected. It's just expected.
Yeah, it's expected that everybody should suffer. But why is there a need to suffer? And also, the drive was, why would people in the world be working and doing things that they don't enjoy doing, day in and day out, waiting to retire, waiting for the day to end?
Right.
What if they could actually do what they love to do? What if they could actually create a relationship with their family, their partner, their parent that they love?
And their work.
Yeah. And their customers.
Sure.
What if they could do that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something incredible?
I think that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
your why moment, when you identified that, was there an exact time? Like, can you recall back during this process of you identifying, wow, I have this other calling. I'm making a good living as an IT consultant, and I'm successful. I'm doing all these type of things, and obviously you weren't being fulfilled by that, but it was keeping you comfortable, but not fulfilled. What was there an instant that you can remember, or was it just an evolution over time where you felt that you weren't doing what you loved, or you knew there was something else you should do? Was there an experience that you had, or did you identify something? Did you see something that it clicked, or was it just over time?
I think that it's a great question. First of all, indeed, my family was saying to me, "Why would you give up a job that pays you so much money every month, and you just have to turn up?"
Right.
It wasn't good enough for me.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing was that I think what really inspired me was that. Sorry, I think I've lost the trail of my thought here. Your question was, what was that turning point for me?
Was there a time that you identified? She can take that out. Was there a time that you like there was something? Was there an instant or something happened that it was just like a click? Like, wow.
Got it.
I need to do this instead of this.
Exactly.
Or was it just an evolution over time?
No, exactly. I think that what I saw people suffering.
Right.
I saw people at work suffering. I saw entrepreneurs, I saw leaders, right, that were treating their team in a way that they shouldn't. I saw bad leadership happening. I saw coaches not doing a very good job.
Right.
I saw mentors that...
Because you were in the executive space at IT, so you saw that, yeah.
I saw all that happening. And by the way, the building blocks of all the work that I did do to come to this point, everything was perfect. Everything was a building block that I needed, even though I might have studied chemistry, at school.
Yeah.
But everything I learned in the chemistry or mathematics or physics, it seemed like it was going to actually help me later on in my life.
Yeah.
Right. So what happened is
and sometimes people don't know that. Sometimes I think that's such an important, powerful statement you just made. When people go through every season of their life, every aspect of their life, it's setting them up for the next level of their life or their next season of their life, even if it doesn't make common sense at that moment. You can think back and you can relate how that chemistry, education experience led you into something in IT, which led you into something which now all of that has its place, both from an experiential standpoint, but also from a coaching standpoint.
Exactly. So I think that those building blocks are very important. Every workshop, every class I sat in, started to have a meaning, right? It wasn't a waste of time. Oh, I don't need this. Yes, I do, right? Well, what happened is that I saw that I would like to create a company that could make a difference.
Yeah.
For somebody that I would sit with for an hour. What if it could change their life?
Yeah.
What if it could unblock whatever they were trapped in?
Yeah.
Get them out of the rut and give them freedom.
Sure.
And the idea of Sikh coaching, the concepts that we use in our coaching are actually giving power to the people. We're not offering them the solution of this is the answer to your troubles. No, we're asking them, you can find the answer to your troubles.
Right.
We don't have to become your crutch that's going to always lift you up and take you.
It's more empowerment.
It's empowerment.
It's huge. Yeah.
So when people saw that they actually have leadership, they actually have wisdom deep embedded inside themselves, and they can access it, what would stop them from accessing it? They can do it.
Yeah. And that's when what I was saying earlier when we were sitting is that to me is the major gift that you have, is the way to identify those gifts that people don't even know they have and bring it to light, or the block that they actually already can overcome in their own self. They just don't realize they have the power to do it, and you see it.
Yes.
And then you just kind of bring it. It's a beautiful thing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
One of the neatest things you said earlier that I love, and I wholeheartedly believe it, is I'm a big advocate that says, hey, you're a decision away from a better life. You're a decision away from a whole different result and output. And you said something that really intrigued me that you don't hear from this world much. And you said, typically in a session, you can identify the issues and help them and have them fixed, if they're willing to do it. Which, from a business standpoint, coaching is not the best business decision, right? But the authenticity of that is so powerful because it comes from the right place. And that being said, that's a talent that you have and a gift and a skill that you have, but most importantly, that just showed me that you are about the giving and the service and the value that you bring, and you're like me. If you give the value, the business will take care of itself.
That's right. That's
right. So authenticity.
I totally agree. Yeah. And this idea that we call it velocity coaching.
Okay.
In Sikh coaching, we might call it velocity coaching, where you basically within 10 or 15 minutes, you can actually identify the block and help that client, that customer, to remove it.
Got it.
Right? The idea that somebody would come into a session, a coaching session, right? They have no idea what's going to happen in that session.
Sure.
We don't know what's going to happen in that session.
Sure.
But when you come to this place of trust, you trust that the client can grow wings. Yeah. They can actually make it happen for themselves. And then when you give them that trust, suddenly you see them flowering.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
It's quick.
It's magic.
I love it. It's so inspiring. It's so neat, and it's so effective in so many things. One of the most powerful things is if you're in the UK, by the way, and you feel that you have something stopping you, you don't know what it is, get in touch with this gentleman right here, he's without a doubt can help. How can people get in touch with you, by the way?
So the offices of Sikh Coaching are in Birmingham.
And by the way, we plan to do business together. And I'm going to have him in the U.S. again with us, and a lot of places we're doing business. So he's going to be accessible other places and doing some events with us, I'm sure. But people here in the U.K., Birmingham centralized, anywhere in the UK, they can get here fairly reasonably. How can they get in touch with you? What's the easiest way to communicate?
So you can text us on info@sikhcoaching.com or help@sikhcoaching.com.
And that's SIKH coaching.com. Yep.
And or our phone number in Birmingham is 0121 429 1900.
Love it.
Right. So give us a call. It's not just for people that are suffering with depression and anxiety and phobias and conflict and divorces or whatever else is going on. It's for people that want to become champions as well.
Of course.
Because wherever it is that you want to go, wherever you're stuck in your business, what if you could have a group of people sitting with you to look at your business saying, this is what you could change.
Yeah, for sure. So is there anything, a website, sikhcoaching.com?
Yes, sikhcoaching.com.
Yeah, so they can get some more details, information on that. Last question, for you, and I think this kind of can really shed light and bring all what we talked about together so far. If someone's out there, and because you've done this, you've gone through this process. So without getting into the deep analytical, coaching side of what you would do with a person, but they want to own a business. They want to start a business.
Yes.
But typically they're just the fear of the unknown is what's stopping them.
Yes.
What would you encourage them to do to just kind of to move forward and maybe get beyond that? What would be something, just a little taste?
Okay, great. I think that it's a really good idea wherever you are in your life to see if you can find a great coach. If you can find great coach mentors in your life, great counselors, then it's entirely possible you will start making decisions that are powerful, not just coming from your own self-centered needs.
Or skewed visions of yourself, or for sure.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Double check the things that you want to achieve with people that you trust, that coaches that you trust. The other thing is your business, whatever it is that the vision is or the mission is, it has to be in alignment with your own core values.
Sure.
If it doesn't match your core values and you're not being congruent with yourself, with your true authentic self, the business will not succeed. So coming from a place of just greed, just coming from a place of, I just need to be secure, that's not going to cut it. You've got to be part of your dream. If it is, then start looking at brainstorming and creating a business model, right, with simplicity of what it is that you can accomplish. Give up any blocks that prevent you from doing what you want, like I don't have enough money, I'm not clever enough, I'm not wise enough, I'm not old enough, I don't have the right degree, all those things. You can start creating your business even before you finish your degree. I
wholeheartedly believe, and one of the things I say all the time is that if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can never win.
Yes.
And a lot of times that's just the block. It's just like a mental, because people are saying things. They're speaking. They're not speaking confidence in themselves, but they're speaking themselves out of something versus speaking life into themselves.
Yes. So the whole idea is that we always have great excuses for not being able to do what we want to do.
Right.
And what if we could give up all the things that are not in place? It could be that we don't have enough money, or we don't have enough education, or our health is not too good, or we're too occupied with, looking after family members or parent like that. All of these excuses, sometimes they prevent us from having what we want.
Right.
And you could recognize the excuse and eliminate it.
Right. Or get somebody to help you recognize the excuse.
Yes.
And that's a great thing about having a great coach.
Yes. Having a great coach, you can identify the blind spots that you don't see.
Yeah.
And then once that happens,
Or mentor.
You don't have to wait until everything is in place and then have your business succeed.
Yeah.
You can come from a place of your business has already succeeded. What's the story that you're going to make up? How was it that you succeeded in your business?
Sure.
Right? And then when you've got the people that are observing you, that are watching you and cheering you on, well, then you've got a set of committed listeners that are calling you to your greatness.
Right.
If there is no committed listeners calling to you to your greatness, well, then you'll be in your own head, having a monologue and overthinking everything.
And what we've talked about earlier is a lot of times you don't have those fans or those people because in the world we live in now, a lot of times people are afraid to try things. So when other people in their world try to do things, they try to hold them back,
yes.
which causes doubt in the person that's actually doing the right things.
Yes.
So that's why it's important to have those coaches and mentors, because then you have people cheering you on that build the confidence that you need to go do what you have to do.
Yes.
I love that. I never even thought about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
really.
it doesn't matter what age you are.
In that way.
It doesn't matter what age you are,
Yeah.
which culture you come from. Wisdom is always something we will be excelling in. We can always get wiser with it, whatever we do. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, without a doubt.
It's incredibly exciting that with just a little bit of positive effort, positive teamwork, great things can happen.
Yeah.
And you've got to have the faith that you can actually do it.
Without a doubt.
Don't let anybody tell you that it's already been tried before, no one has succeeded, you probably won't succeed. No.
Yeah.
Go with it. Get that affirmation in place. Get your team to support you and cheer you on. Say your prayers or whatever else it is that inspires you. Go and get it done.
I love it. Well, listen, you inspire me. You really do. Your wisdom is brilliant. And by the way, just sitting in your office here, it's just like just the brilliance in your flow charts and this is just it's awesome. And the energy, by the way, in your space is a powerful thing. So I just want you to know I really appreciate you. Thank you for being on. Y'all get in touch with this guy sooner than later, but you'll see him eventually because I'm going to be dragging him along with me a lot, especially in some of the events we do. So look forward to that as well. Brother, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Inderjit Singh Bhogal, everybody. Thanks for your time. Yes.